Have you ever experienced the following? You arrive in a location, whether it's at your job, or whether it's at a wedding, or just a restaurant where you're going out with friends, or you just arrive in a new destination, a new place to live, or whatever. Have you ever experienced that you arrived somewhere? Everything on the outside was so perfect. Everything was in its place. And still, somewhere deep down inside of you, you felt that something was missing. You were not traumatized. You were not paranoid. You were not, let me say, you were not hallucinating, anything like that. It's just that you admit you're in your new location, or you're in a new place, or you're around new people. Well, they're new to you because you haven't met them before. Everything seems to fit so perfectly that you think, why do I feel like something is amiss over here? Why do I feel like something is missing? You tend to look in the mirror and tell yourself, cut it out, man. Or lady, cut it out. Everything is fine. People are treating me well. People are polite. People are sensitive. I mean, there are no financial difficulties. So you just can't figure out why you feel like something is amiss. Now look, if you still have unprocessed issues from your past, then that is something you need to go in therapy for. For example, if you're a veteran that came out of a war and now you're back at home, you have to get used to not being in a war zone anymore. So indeed, in that case, you may be anxious if there's no reason to be anxious, because you on the inside, you need to recover. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you are processing the past, when you are in counseling, you're in therapy, you're doing your part to remain healthy long term. And you arrive in a situation, and from on the outside, you don't notice any red flag, but you still feel that something is amiss. Well, let me explain to you what that is. We don't have to be spooky nor mysterious about it. It's quite simple. When you are in a situation where everything on the outside is as it should be, but you still feel like something is amiss because there is one thing that's missing. And this one thing makes all the difference. Approval from the Holy Spirit. That's what's missing. You may say, Rashid, what do you mean approval of the Holy Spirit? Okay. Let's say you have a village. Everyone there is so at harmony with one another. They're so fond of the children. Children are so respectful towards the older people. Everything in that village is so peaceful. But then you think, hold on a minute, but these are human beings, also born in the fallen state. They also have unrest that develops inside of them, like all human beings do. All human beings need to be born again and renewed in their mind. How come these people claim to serve God and they never go through any difficulties? And Jesus even said, everyone that will follow him will be persecuted sooner or later. So how come these people here who all claim to follow Jesus, they're never persecuted? Guess what? These people are compromised. The reason they're left alone is because they are dysfunctional on purpose. And because they're dysfunctional on purpose, nobody sees them as a threat. So this is a situation that God does not approve of. Because people there are holding themselves back to prevent violence from the public. They appease the public so the public doesn't turn on them. So they're holding themselves back, even though God gave them power to overcome retaliation of the masses. So they're making the masses, including the demons behind the masses, more relevant than they really are. Still, as a group of people, they treat each other so well and so loving. So if you look at the outside circumstances, you may conclude this is a safe place, but it's not safe because people there have sabotaged themselves. They're holding themselves back in the hope that things will remain peaceful. There is no peace when you're holding yourself back. I'm not talking about you holding back your words and your thoughts. Because that's something you need to do from time to time. You can't just go out there and just be transparent, dumb, and be blunt about everything. No. What I'm talking about is, if you need to move on, then you need to move on. The moment you're not moving on, the moment you're not improving, you are harming yourself, and this harmful effect on yourself also harm other people. So if you have a bunch of people around who are all holding themselves back for the sake of peace, then you already know there's no peace over there. All thing you have is short-term tranquility. And short-term tranquility may appear to be peace, but it's not peace. It's like there's an elephant in the room that everyone is ignoring. And you don't see the elephant in the room yet, but you feel like something is wrong over there. You feel like something's missing. And the thing is, because the thing that should be there, the approval of the Holy Spirit, isn't there, something else is there that shouldn't be there. Listen, if God's approval is not there, that means that there are demons enabling the situation. If God does not approve, demons will enable. So if God's approval ain't there, that means there are demonic entities pushing for that situation. So the moment God's approval isn't in a situation, you will always feel the lack of peace over there. You may not feel unrest immediately, but you always feel the lack of peace over there, the lack of consistency on the inside. When you feel this, do not take it lightly. Admit that something's amiss. You may not know exactly the details of it, but all comes down to God's approval isn't there. And if God does not approve of it, it means because it's not safe in the long run. So, what do you do when you pick up that something is missing and you realize God's approval ain't there? Stay calm, stay peaceful, stay in harmony with other people, and quickly and surely leave that situation. Don't try to rescue things. Don't try to rescue those people. Don't try to fix things. If you experience lack of peace because God's approval is not there, leave as soon as possible and don't turn back. You may reflect back to pray for those people that you leave behind, but you're not going to look back. You hear me? So, whenever God's approval is missing, there is nothing worthwhile for you to stay there. Remember that. Too many believers get deceived because things are so comfortable externally. External comfort doesn't guarantee long-term safety. External comfort doesn't guarantee long-term well-being. External safety doesn't imply things are functional. Remember this. Well, that's it for now. Keep on with Christ and be at peace.